Hello, and tonight we have love in the time of ranch dressing. We learn how to ride a robo goat. We learn the best way to deal with complicated family and so much more. But first, I want to introduce you to the co-captains of this crazy, weird ship that I got going on right now. First up, let's introduce Heather Jules Booth. Heather, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I am excellent. And our special guest for the evening, Raina Trider. Raina, how are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
I love your chill energy. I appreciate your chill energy. You always maintain that sort of like everything's good until you get upset. I've seen you also get upset, so we're not going there tonight.
Maybe.
Uh-oh. I think I've already done it. I think I may have already done it.
Damn it, Dustin.
I'm not good at this. We were talking right beforehand how I'm not charismatic, although they were saying that I was, which is why I'm bringing it up, because I'm hoping you'll say it again on tape.
The fact that you said, yeah, so we joked about you leading a cult, and Dustin was like, I'm not charismatic enough to lead a cult. And I'm like, have you seen some of these people who've led cults? Because we've seen some videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you definitely could talk people into things. Stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
Do we want to get into this thing right now? You want to get into our first segment? Which is, of course,
stuff and things. Yeah.
World You Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a good one to kick off. Y'all, we're gonna find out that there is a giant robot convention that I didn't know existed. And specifically, we are going to meet Bex, which is Kawasaki's rideable robot goat. This goat prances or lets you ride it. The idea is that it's showing that Kawasaki is focused on humanoid development, but it's also a goat. It is a rideable robot goat, as I mentioned, and it was premiered at the 2022 International Robot Exhibition, which is, as I have now learned, the world's largest robot trade show held in Tokyo. I am extremely jealous of this, and I would love to go to a giant robot trade show. That sounds amazing.
Do you want to show people this crazy goat?
Oh, do you want to show it? Or do you want to?
I mean, I have the still and I have the video. You tell me which one you want.
I think let's start with the still.
Okay.
And we'll talk a little, and then we'll see that sweet video.
All right.
Wow. Look
at this goat, rideable goat. I mean, it's a rideable goat. It is based on an ibex. That's why it's called Bex, because it's made to look like an ibex. It prances. It does, as this article says, rather ungoat-like things, like having lights flashing along its neck and horns. Okay. It folds its legs. It can wheel around. It's got wheels on its knees, like its goat knees.
Just like regular goats.
Just like regular goats, they've got wheels. And then it kneels down, and you can get onto the goat. This article is ridiculous because the person is clearly writing it very tongue in cheek, and they're like, wheels which are not usually found on biological goats and must therefore be acknowledged as a notable goat improvement. At which point I said to Dustin, I had to check the date on this article because I was like, is this an April Fool's article? But it's actually not.
It's not?
Yeah.
What do you think
the thing is, like, nobody's got wheels on their knees. Like, that's not like a thing.
Right.
Because that's the part
like the little wheelies that people have, like, you don't put them on your knees unless it's a bad production of The Little Mermaid. But
Morning Rose is calling this the worst Transformer. Arguably, yes, especially because it
the worst Transformer,
because it doesn't transform except like on its knees and not.
Yes. Yeah, it just lights up. They have other robots that they also showed at this exhibition. They had a giant humanoid robot that could walk on a treadmill and could rescue victims during staged disaster scenarios. I don't know why they were like, you know what? We're not going to focus on that one, though. We're going to focus on this goat. Because
the first thing that I have to wonder about this is, like, does anybody ride a goat normally? Like, why a goat?
Right, but that's the improvement, because normally a goat can't handle the weight of a human being on its back. But now, with a robo goat, it can. We've been deprived of the ability to ride goats this whole time. Also, goats are short, so that is also a negative of riding goats. But do we want to?
Just like, I don't know, just a question for the group. If you had the opportunity to ride anything from the animal kingdom, would a goat make your top 10?
Would the goat be what you pick?
No, definitely would not pick.
I would say it wouldn't be like my top of my list, but if I wasn't going to hurt the goat, I would ride a goat to see what it's like.
No, but I mean, like,
but it's not what I think of. Yeah. No, I don't go like, oh, animals, I can ride a goat.
But I also don't think like animals that I'm going to make because I can't ride them. Oh, a goat. I would say like a giant koi fish or something.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, like who else? A giraffe, like something kind of like, huzzah.
Robot giraffe would be cool.
Or like a lion. You'd be like, I'm riding like a robo lion, and it's badass, and it's got a roar, versus like I'm riding a goat, which is still a fucking goat. But
got this video?
Yeah, but I have the video, so I think we need to go to the video.
This video is amazing. It's the music for me.
Yeah, it's got the crazy like LEDs in its neck.
Yeah, the LEDs that, as they pointed out, don't happen on real goats.
Right, they definitely don't.
And this guy slides that thing over, like, I don't know if it's controlling it or if it's to prevent it from kicking him.
Right. Just jumping over to the chat again for a moment. Jeff's pointing out, unless you're a very tiny person who needs to drag on the ground with a real goat, I think nobody's signing up for that. And Michelle's on board. She wants to take 12.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool.
Right, and Morning Roast agrees with me that you're better off riding a lion. So,
do you think that this looks like it could be like a really cool scene from like maybe a horror movie where like a Santa Claus display comes to life?
Yes.
Yeah, like I can see a real world application for this.
Right, because there's probably red LEDs in his eyes somewhere for when he goes evil, and then know, like, okay, now it's turned bad. Now it's gonna stab us with those weird horn things.
The roller skating part is good.
Yes. That is a silly goat. Do you want me to keep going, or do we want to move on? Your call, Heather. Are we gonna? How deep into the goat video do you want to go?
I mean, I think we saw it kneel. We've seen it wheel. See what it does.
We've seen the bulk of what it can do. If it can spit fire, I think they would have put it earlier on in the video. So. I
mean, I would ride this around at Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, but would you buy it to go to work? Like, would you ride it to work and then leave it like chained to the meter?
I mean, not in New York City. It would get stolen, but I would love the concept of riding it in the city. Sure. How cool would that be? You just like riding down the street.
Well, yeah, I think you can't ignore the fact that it's made by Kawasaki. I mean, that's this is a motorcycle company.
This is a motorcycle goat. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a goatercycle?
Yeah.
Motorcycle.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You're so much smarter than the rest of us.
Michelle's voting for the goat for the full hour. And the reason I'm saying we should leave is because Morning Roast is right. We've been hypnotized by the robo goat.
It's amazing.
That we could find ourselves just watching it for like 8 hours. But now that a human being's on the goat, then it's just like even that much more exciting. But we're
I like the way its little legs.
It's the tiniest fucking steps that it could possibly take.
Great, it's great.
All right. We're gonna move on because
I think we're ready to move on.
We're gonna move on.
Final thoughts of I do wish that we had a robot. Maybe we do have a robot convention in New York, and I'm just uneducated and I don't know. It's very possible.
I do have to say that, like, I feel like this is very Hollywood, because just even that writing right now kind of reminded me of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, I could see there being like a situation in which a Christmas display goes haywire nuts, and all the animatronic animals come to life and attack and maybe start shooting. Hollywood, hello.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've already got the robot. We just need the cameras, is what you're saying.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
Cool. All right, let us move on. Raina, it is your turn now. Tell us a little bit about your story.
My story is full of romance. So, Hidden Valley Ranch, who not only makes ranch dressing, actually the creators of ranch dressing is Hidden Valley Ranch. Did not know that. But my deep research, I learned some stuff. They have pressurized the dressing to some really unimaginable heights, to the point where it made a diamond. So I shall read a little. Hidden Valley Ranch hired a professional diamond maker to heat blast its ranch dressing to 2,500 degrees and then crush the resulting charred dressing under 400 tons of pressure. 5 months later, voila, the 2 carat. And the journalist here says, carrot? It's for salad, right? Round.
Boo.
Yeah.
Hard boo on that one.
Round, brilliant cut diamond was placed in a 14 karat white gold band with the engraving HVR LVR for Hidden Valley Ranch Lover. So, I mean,
can't with this story.
I feel warm, and I'm a married woman. I mean, Hidden Valley Ranch Lover.
Does that mean that you can? Does that mean you could diamond anything? Like, if you could diamond ranch dressing, is there
maybe?
Like,
well, no, but that was. I think there's just a lot here. Oh, and then so it was. The opening bid was $310 on March 17th.
That's it.
But no, it eventually sold for $12,550.
Nice. That's a lot.
So,
for a ranch diamond.
We were trying to I don't know what a carat this, a carat, like, what does that, if there's anybody who works in the jewelry industry that would like to tell us.
Right. We got Joy in the chat right now. Joy, how much?
I
also didn't want to say, like, if only we knew someone.
Yeah. Well,
who had some insight.
If somebody knows how much a 2 carat diamond should go for, let us know.
So I don't know who bought it, though. I don't think this article says who. It went on eBay, and it doesn't say. It's unknown whether the ring was purchased for use in a marriage proposal. But I also think that I'm from Los Angeles originally, and there's a joke that a lot of LA people are just like natural born marketers. This feels like a month late. They should have done this on Valentine's Day. So I'm like, what went wrong? What's the shadow side to this diamond?
Or it's just like nobody knew how long it took to make ranch dressing into a diamond, and somebody said 4 months, and it became 5. So
could be.
Jumping back into chat. Oh, sorry. Yeah, do the chat. Yeah. I'm gonna have to. I'm supporting chat, but I like dipping carrots in ranch. That gets the same boo that the other boos got, but also I support you being in chat. He's also suggesting that 3K is a good amount for a 2 carat diamond. I don't know. You might be right. I don't know. Enjoy. You're there. We need answers. We need answers from you. Anyway, continue. Sorry, just wanted to get folks involved.
this article says that like diamonds, like man-made diamonds, are becoming more standard in the industry. Where it says one industry analyst. Manufactured diamonds now make up as 4 to 6%, as much as 4 to 6% of the diamond market. I didn't even know that was a thing. Did you guys know that that's what people do now?
Like man-made diamonds are becoming a thing?
Yeah, I knew you could make them, but I think there's still that like stigma associated with like, oh, you printed my diamond? Really? Like you couldn't dig one out of the ground like a normal person. You had to print it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to have like a word like vegan leather. Like it needs some that spin. You know, because like vegan leather used to just be like crappy plastic pants or whatever. Now it's like you're eco-conscious.
Oh man, crappy plastic. Oh boy, you say that phrase, Raina, and I can like feel the crappy plastic pants. I know exactly. Oh, yep. Yep.
And Jeff is suggesting maybe make it something with an infinite shelf life like Twinkies. Although technically, I believe they do have a shelf life. Everybody likes to pretend like they don't, but I think that they do.
Really?
Yeah. Would you guys, because you guys are both married, you guys both got rings at some point. If you got a ring with Hidden Valley Ranch dressing, how would that have affected your answer?
I mean, it wouldn't have changed my answer. I just would have been like, well, this is an interesting choice. But any diamond given with love, you know, it's the gesture. The ring is being given with the love and the commitment and the promise. So
okay,
that's fine.
So I'm gonna up it one more time because as Jeff's also pointing out, people make diamonds out of their loved ones.
I have heard this. Yes.
So yeah, if Chris had proposed to you with a dead relative's diamond, like a diamond that was a dead relative, okay, you'd still say yes, but would you wear it with the frequency with which you wear it now?
Sure, why not?
Okay, you wouldn't feel like there's a ghost on your hand all the time?
I mean, there's a ranch ghost clearly in the ranch one, so.
Well, I guess like any rock is like earth ghost.
Mm-hmm, there's earth ghosts, yeah.
Right. But
it's a really good way to think of it.
But you know the name of the person. Like you've met the person probably. Like that's different. Like if you're constantly wearing, you know, like Grandma Shirley, like isn't that weird? Isn't that like
my ring comes from my mother-in-law's ring. She had already passed away when we got married, so we took the diamonds from her ring and put them into my ring, and we melted down her ring and made my husband's wedding band. So like I think that's pretty normal for jewelry to have sort of a ghost in it. I don't think that's unusual.
Okay, then hey.
Yeah, but I will say this, like, I mean, if you were really into ranch dressing, or if it was somehow part of how you guys met, then that makes sense. Or like if the cremation diamond was like your pet or something like that, mm-hmm. Like if it was your cat and you guys did so, I don't know, I could see that being kind of meaningful. Right. But if it was just like, if randomly my husband had put ranch dressing, I would be very curious because neither one of us eat it. Uh-huh. So then I would be like, are you okay? Do we, like, I don't know.
Do you think I'm somebody else? Are you remembering the story wrong?
Yeah, that could happen. That could happen.
Yeah. Topping is suggesting perhaps it would be a protector ghost, which would be very nice if it was a protector ghost. If your grandparents were watching out over you. Morning Rose is suggesting maybe. I'm assuming you mean Star Trek's Next Generation. I don't know.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is it?
Do either of you know Star Trek: The Next Generation?
I don't.
Particularly well. Oh man, there's an entire episode where the doctor of the ship, like the ship's chief surgeon. So you know, if you're the chief surgeon of this ship, you're the tops of your game on the Enterprise. And she gets called home to her grandmother's funeral, and her grandmother bequeaths her a candle, and the candle has a ghost in it, and that ghost does her good. Get mud drift.
Okay.
And there are a lot of scenes of her enjoying ghost candle time.
In the way that I'm thinking, or in a, like.
Oh, 100% the way you think I'm implying.
Wow, I did not know that about that show. I did not know that sometimes people have.
It's considered one of the worst episodes of the series.
Okay.
Like top 5, one of the worst episodes. But it's dumb. It's like a great bad. It's camp. It's ridiculous.
Do we want to cover anything else? Well, Joy, you asked.
Yeah,
yes,
Joy
we do.
had some intel.
Yeah, tell us what you know. We want to hear it. We can move on and come back to this if we do. We have anything else that we want to talk about ranch dressing rings? Or Raina, you feeling good about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
All right, cool. All right, so then let us move on to my story. So I have never enjoyed being in an airport because airports are uncomfortable. They are meant to only be there for a small amount of time. I live in New York, so the airport I go to is JFK or LaGuardia, who are traditionally the worst airports in the world. But our story today talks about a 60-year-old man from China whose name I have written here, but I will not try and pronounce because there is no way that I will get it right. So I will just leave it as a 60-year-old man from China has spent the last 14 years living in the airport. And you must be thinking, well, clearly this is a Tom Hanks situation. Clearly he could not get out of the airport and therefore has been in there for 14 years. Not that it was Tom Hanks, you know what I mean, the movie that he played. I don't know who the real guy is. No. This man has been in the airport in China for 14 years because when he goes home, his family says he can't drink and smoke. And he said, well, I want to drink and smoke. And they said, well, you can't do it here. And he said, fine, I'll go live in the airport. And then did for 14 years. And he's still there. And they try and get him out. And he says, like, no, and throws a temper tantrum. And then they're finally like, fine, just stay in the airport. And he gets like a small check every month from the government of like the equivalent of like a Social Security type thing. And he uses it to buy food and drinks and cigarettes. His family lives like 12 miles away from the airport, so sometimes they come visit, but they basically like refuse to just sort of like all get together and let him come back and live there. And I don't understand, like, okay, go find another apartment. Like go, but don't just live in the airport. And then it turned out, if you're like, this guy's weird, you're like, actually, there are 6 people living in the airport right now. He is just one of 5 people living in the Beijing Capital International Airport. So that's my weird ass story. And I'm curious, like, do you want to live in the airport? Am I the only one who does not want to live in the airport?
God, this story is, I mean, no, I don't want to live in an airport. I will say I respect that he has hacked the system and has basically figured out how to live rent free.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good for him. And he's got, probably restaurants and stuff, and he can go. I don't know how he showers, but at least I guess he just takes stink baths. But I want to know more about this airport. Like
how does one do that? Right,
because correct me if I'm wrong, and I have not granted been to a ton of airports, but every airport that I've been to, like there's like a little section you can get to, but to get to most of the like, I'm going to say good stuff in air quotes, but like to get to anything, you have to like have a ticket and have gone through security and stuff, right?
Right, I assume that at some point he went through security and has just been on the other side the whole time.
Did he just never leave? Like what?
Right, because you're not gonna be on the other side of it because there's no food court there. Like you gotta.
I like the idea that you got through security at one point. I just
right
just at one point, and he's like,
"You had a ticket and you did it," but it was like in 1992 or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
14 years ago.
14 years. No, 14 years ago. 14 years ago is less time than when like airport security got crazy. So it's not like it was the 90s where it was like, yeah, you could have just wandered in.
Right.
Well, airport security for the U.S. got crazy after 9/11. So that's 2001. Yeah. He's been in the airport past that, to your point. Yeah. Like
2007 or 8-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. China's not particularly casual in their airports, though. They're not like any, like, just everybody do whatever you want. Like,
right.
So,
well, I mean, you have to. People live in, bus stations and train stations, right? So that's definitely a tick up. I hear what you're saying about not liking airports, which I like airports because to me it's like, oh, something good's about to happen. I'm about to go on this awesome trip,
Right, but you're taking that's the one good thing that never happens for him. He's never going anywhere. He's always just there.
I don't know. What if he's just living in that perpetual state of hope?
That maybe this flight to Singapore is the one that he's going to get on? Like, even though...
He just never let it go. He crossed through security, and he's just maintained that sense of hope.
For 14 years. I mean, I appreciate his excitement about it. I just think...
No, I think it was very clear that he's doing this so he can drink and smoke.
Right. So like,
and who's allowed to smoke in an airport? Like,
I mean, that was my other question. I'm like, this is a different airport than what we're used to.
Yeah, I think China definitely has more
lounges.
liberal smoking like lounges, and I'm sure if it's anything like, I think like LAX has like an outside part that you can go to if you go into like the fancy lounge, which I'm sure he is not doing, but.
Yeah, LAX, I think, well, they turned one smoking lounge into, like, there used to be like an outdoor patio. Now it's just like a place for your dog to poop. Like it's a pet relief area.
Mm-hmm. Topping is pointing out that perhaps it's not just the man drinking and smoking that made his family not want living there. Just saying.
Topping, I agree. I wondered and thought the fact that the family was like, well, okay, you can, yeah. Mm-hmm. I was like, something's up here. Definitely.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be there, and they're okay with that. And
some
they
extras
don't really
going
want
on.
him
They're
here,
like, all right.
So.
Yeah. And Joy supports your perpetual state of hope. I mean, I don't think it's the case, as we pointed out, but it's
no, but maybe.
Yeah.
But that's a lot to go through just for smoking and drinking. Those aren't really, I don't know, impossible things. Like, you can do that.
Right. And like, if your dad was like, I know you'd be like, hey, I don't want you to drink and smoke because it's bad for your health and blah, blah, or whatever. But if it was like, I'm going to go live in an airport for 14 years and never see you, or let me drink and smoke in the house. Like, at some point you just go like, fine, drink and smoke in the house. Like, I don't like, I don't want you living in a fucking airport. I don't want you to be like, and he's going for the record because 18 years is the longest anybody's lived in an airport. So he's 4 years shy. So I guess at this point he's committed to it. So he might as well like just keep on going. So that's our ridiculous man living in.
I just need to throw out that while you're saying this, I like looked up another version of this article because I was just like, I there's so many details I want to know. Yeah. And so far I did not get answers, but I did find that he apparently can leave the airport. He does leave the airport sometimes to go shopping, but then comes back because he gets cold, and that the people in the airport said, he's fine, he's a little belligerent, and he's a very loud drunk. So,
good.
There's some extra facts about this. Yeah.
Well, thank you for enlightening us all.
I'm just still fascinated by like the concept that everyone is just, there's just this understanding like, yep, you can just live here.
It's a weird guy that lives in the airport.
That's the guy that just lives, like, right, can you imagine it's your first day on the job and they're walking you around and they're doing your like job orientation and they're like, oh, by the way, that guy lives here. Don't get too near him around like 8 o'clock. He's allowed drunk, but like, I'm this is one of those stories, Dustin. It's like my mind is kind of blown by this. I can't.
It should be.
I don't know. I have a really bad admiration for stubbornness. Like, I find it kind of amazing that he said, yeah, I'm going to do this. And people are like, you're not going to do this. And he was like, yeah, I will watch. And he stuck to his guns. Like, that's
Right,
pretty, I shouldn't be impressed by that,
but doesn't 7 years cover that commitment? Like, doesn't at some point you go like, all right,
7 months
you win.
would cover that commitment.
Right.
7 hours would cover that commitment. 7 hours in an airport is like a long time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, once you cross the decade mark, at some point you go like, all right, you won. You come back and live in the house like a normal person. Anyway,
The airport lets him live there. They let him live there.
yes.
So what if that was your dad or like your uncle or brother or whatever, like your husband?
Right,
Like
it
that,
depends on the relationship. I mean, it sounds like maybe this guy's a little difficult. So
Yeah.
I think, like Topping said, I think the family was probably like, okay,
that's cool.
yeah, that's cool. You're 12 miles away. We'll come visit you if we need to.
Once again from the chat, Morning Roast, admiration for stubbornness is a great Creighton's album. Agreed. Some said their best. All right, moving on to our next segment, known as What the Fact, where I ask you guys 3 questions, give you multiple choice answers, and you tell me which of the answers is right. Some weird ones tonight, so go with me on it. Let's go to our first one. What phone number sold for $2.75 million is the most money that a phone number has sold for ever? Our choices are 867-5309, 666-6666, or 800-8555, which is boobs. So, which of these phone numbers sold for 2.75 million? Chat, I want to hear your choices as well. But Heather, what are you thinking?
So I'm going to go with A because I didn't even see the choices. And I was like, I think it's 867-5309.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is.
Okay. Raina, what are you thinking? And then I'll do you want to hear what chat has to say first, or do you want to guess?
No, I have a guess.
Okay.
I think it's B, which also could stand for boobs. But I think it's 6666666.
Okay. Chat is saying Chris is going with A. So keeping it in the family there. Morning Roast is saying C. Michelle is saying gonna go with A, but they all are brilliant. Morning Roast is cheering for boobs. And and Jeff is suggesting 666 to the Republican Party, which since I have a left-leaning slant, I think we all do. I will support that joke. The actual answer is in fact B, 666-6666. Bought by I believe it was a Qatari millionaire who really wanted the 666-6666 number. So I would have thought it would be 867-5309. I also have found that I think you can get 867-5309 in a couple of different places. So
Okay.
So it's not as valuable, but
this might hijack this conversation, but how does a phone number go up for sale? I guess I can Google that later. I just didn't know that that's a thing that happened.
Because you get transferred.
So I think it's like a web address. Like if you wanted to spell out something, or if you want, you might offer to buy it from someone.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are ways of that. I think that's a thing. Well, it's obviously a thing because this cheaper. But yeah, I feel like it probably has some significance in numerology somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I got married in 2011, and we got married on the 15th, but when we got our marriage license, tons of people, the place was flooded with people who wanted to get married on 11/11/11. So people really take that stuff to heart.
Yeah. Fun
I
fact.
like how I'm like wisely giving my thought process on how I won this, how I schooled all y'all. Let me walk you through my process. What?
Fun fact about area codes too, when they were first assigning them, because there's no like specific like system or whatever, is they figured out places that were going to be more popular and gave them smaller numbered area codes. Like New York was 212 because people had to dial it a lot because there were a lot more people calling places in New York City than there were in other places. So they gave places that were very busy low area code numbers because everybody had rotary phones at the time. And they gave Cape Canaveral 321 because they thought it would be cool, and they were right. So I know weird stuff about phone numbers as well.
That's cool.
And chat chiming in with saying devil for the win. That's true. Another one from Chris. And then Dustin is old. His area code was 1. Boo. Also boo on that one.
Morning,
but also, yeah.
Morning roasted.
Yeah.
Roasted.
Moving on to question number 2. What can't Oreo legally say about its cream filling? Is it A, that it is fit to be called food, that it is filling, or that it is cream? One of these things they cannot do. Since I went to Heather first, Raina, I'll come to you first. Which of these things can't Oreo actually call their cream filling?
I think that it is cream.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Because I don't think it's cream.
Okay.
I don't know.
And Heather, your thoughts as well?
Can it only be one of these options?
Yes, in this case, I will tell you it is only one of these options.
This is not in all 3. Okay, so then I am also going to go with C, that it is cream.
Okay. Chat's got some good answers. It's ranch. Chris is going with C. Joy is going with C. Jeff is going with C. Topping is going with saying that it is not cream. Michelle as well.
Wow, it's a sweep.
So
It's a creamy sweep.
So and it turns out that you are all correct. That it is cream. That's why if you look at the packaging, it says
crap. Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah, they just spell cream wrong, and everybody goes, "Oh, it's cream filling," but in fact, it is in no way actually cream filling.
It's creme.
Oh my Lord
wow.
in heaven, that's horrible. I'm outraged.
Yep, you should be.
I'm outraged. No, because so frosting that sits on a shelf like that is just Crisco. What do you call that? A vegetable shortening with flavoring added to it. That's like what that kind of Betty Crocker or whatever that you get in a can. So I assume that's what's inside an Oreo. But CREME just means cream in another language. Like you can't do that.
Makes you think it's fancy.
Yes, exactly.
That's how they get you.
Oh, I shake my fist in their
or
general direction.
Has it been lying to you this whole time? Moving on to our third question. Tyromancy is a method of predicting the future by doing what? Is it watching cheese? Is it throwing chickens into water? Or C, slapping pigs and seeing how they react? Heather, I'll go to you first. Which one of these can you use to predict the future, although I am told that it does not work particularly well?
I'm going to go with B, throwing chickens into water. Why not?
Okay. Throw chickens into water? Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard about this, but I don't know if it's related to this.
Okay.
But I feel like I've heard about people throwing chickens into water for some dumb reason.
Okay. Raina, what are your thoughts?
I think it's B as well, because I feel like throwing women into water used to be a thing.
True.
So to find out some divine answer, it answered things for folks back in the day. But I really like watching cheese. Like, I think that sounds like great activity. That's something I would like to do.
Showing back into chat again. Morning Rush throwing D. Watching a Tyra Banks marathon. which Joy's also going to agree with. But Chris is going for a real answer. He's suggesting A.
But I think it could also be throwing Tyra Banks into water and seeing how she reacts.
Fair.
Because I have a feeling it would be like.
I don't think there's a lot of predictions about that. I think we know what that future is.
So
somehow she'd figure out a way to like attack Naomi Campbell.
Yes.
So the actual answer is watching cheese.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! It's watching cheese.
It's watching cheese.
That is the best thing ever.
Yeah. Apparently, it has been debunked that you cannot really predict the future by watching cheese. But I still.
Who debunked it? Show me the science.
What do you look for in the cheese?
I don't know. I don't.
Would it be like watching for shapes, like the way you do with the
I want to know. Yeah.
tea leaves? You know how like with tea leaves or coffee grounds, you like tip it over and then you look inside and you read the person's future. Maybe it's looking for shapes of like cloudy shapes or something. I don't know. That's so cool. Is that like French? French people do that?
Chris is pointing out that tarot in Latin is Latin for cheese. So
oh, you fancy.
Yeah, if you were smart like him, then you would have gotten it right away, like he did. Joy suggesting perhaps we retire Banks in water while she's eating cheese.
Or it could be like those people that see Jesus when they make the grilled cheese sandwich or whatever, you know, like that's a thing that happens.
What do you see in this cheese?
Just throwing in theory of string cheese.
Oh my God. I'm Googling this later.
Yeah.
I want to know more about this.
I love the fact that, Heather, that you guessed throwing chickens into water because I made that up completely. Like that was, I just thought like, put a chicken thing in there because Heather's here.
I will pick it. Yep.
Right. And then I was like, what do you do with a chicken? Like, I don't want to harm a chicken because Heather will get mad at me, but you can throw a chicken into water and it's pretty much fine.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, especially because like, if you've seen, excuse me. If you've seen people like toss chickens and they like kind of sort of fly, but like not great.
Yeah.
I've seen people like go like fly and the chicken's just like tries to fly and it's kind of hilarious. Yeah. So I was like, I could see. Yeah.
I feel like also chickens are used in a lot of like religions and stuff.
They are, which I also was thinking about.
I like, you know, and like watching them bleed and stuff is like getting the blood out of them. And that's part of religious practices. So it doesn't seem far-fetched adding that to throwing women in water to see if they're witches.
Right.
I think that you combined two things that made that really ridiculous thing really plausible because people have done stuff kind of like that.
Kind of similar, yeah.
Which makes it the best kind of lie ever. So I think the real winner here is you.
Thank you. And maybe I could use it to start my cult. So I can tell everybody I'd predict the future by throwing chickens into water and it'll be great. And I just say stuff. Cool. All right. Let us move on to our third category, or our third segment of the show, which is Would You Rather? I believe, Heather, you are kicking us off.
I am. So this question is, would you rather invite your most annoying relative over to dinner, or would you rather go over to dinner at their home? Raina, as our guest, I'm going to go to you first.
Would you rather invite the annoying person to your place or go to theirs?
Yeah.
I'd rather go to theirs.
Why?
Because I can make an excuse to leave. I can't make an excuse to kick the person out.
Okay. Well, Heather, it's your question. I don't want to say okay. I'm not.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I respect that answer. Yeah, makes sense.
Go to there.
Dustin, what about you?
I was gonna go and invite them over, but Raina makes a good point. Like you can always just be like, oh, my stomach hurts. I got a meeting tomorrow. So like you could control it versus being like, hey, everybody get out. unless you like set a specific time of just being like, oh yeah, no, everybody's got to go by 6. Like, I prefer to be on my own turf because like I know where things are and I'm not at the mercy of other people that I don't like. And you can also, like, if a person brings up politics, you can be like, not here, like not in my house. Like, you can't, unless it's like stuff that you agree with, and then you totally can do it. But I guess Raina convinced me. I'm gonna go to their place.
I am also firmly in go to their place for exactly what the reason that Raina said. Like, I read this question beforehand and I was like, oh, this is easy. Yeah, never have somebody over that, especially that it's a person that you've established that you find annoying. No, never, because you can't, it's going to be impossible to kick them out. It's going to be so difficult. Go over to someone's place. Absolutely. At any point, you are, as long as you have a way to get out, like that you have a means of transport, you are always able to just go, well, look at the time, gotta go.
So jumping over to chat for a minute. Now, Michelle says both for the chaos a lot. But here's the thing, Michelle. You bit yourself in the butt this time. Because saying both for the chaos means that they're coming to your place and they're also moving in because you're going to their place. So now your annoying relative lives with you because you went with both for the chaos. So you have to be careful of both for the chaos. Morning Roast is saying 2 because you can leave their place. Joy Master is saying that as well. Topping is saying you're ready to go to theirs. Jeff saying escape route. Where's Joy saying? Because Joy's insulting me. Joy saying, you think you have control, Justin, but you won't. That's true. I won't. I never have control. Chris is all going, control is an illusion. Yeah. So, and Michelle was saying that's the chaos she requested. So, okay, yeah. If you want your annoying relatives.
All right.
Yeah, that's how you want to. That's how you want to be. That's how you want to be.
But yeah, but also, like, as somebody who I can easily feel trapped and panicked in places that I feel like I can't get away from. So like, so many million percent.
All right, so it
and
sounds
if
like
that place is your own home, that's just like a terrible, terrible feeling.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like if you want the person to leave and you feel trapped in your own.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, and now you're just like, how do I do? What do I do?
My chest got a little tight thinking about that. Yeah.
It's that thought of like the person's there and you're like,
yeah.
Keeping the bit alive. The Chaos I requested is a great Stevie Nicks album. All right. So that means go to their place is the winner for the evening. Raina, passing it over to you.
Okay. Would you rather be overdressed, like for the weather, like you're wearing your clothes are too hot, or would you?
So you're going with your own. Okay, because there was one for you.
Do I have to answer for myself? Oh, that was. Oh, sorry. Would you rather read the instructions?
Do your
read the instructions or make up your own?
Yeah. Okay.
No, because what you sent me, it had all your name on it.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. You're right. Okay. Oh, wait, I get it. Oh, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I want to ask
your Raina's question.
Yeah, we're doing yours first. I'm not bringing the graphic back.
I thought that I was supposed to answer that one that you said.
Oh, yeah.
The one that you sent me, when I read it, I thought, I'm supposed to answer that question, and I have an answer for that. Oh, I'm supposed to ask it.
Right. No, but you do yours. You do yours.
Okay,
first.
So would you rather be overdressed, like too warm, like when you go, or too cold? Like that you didn't wear enough clothes? It's spring. This is on my mind.
I'm going to go with too warm because I feel like you're like less likely to die. Like if you get super cold, you could freeze to death and get frostbite and lose parts of things. If you're too warm, like you're just really sweaty and gross and nobody wants to like be around you, but like you're gonna have all your fingers when the story's done. So that's what I vote for. Good.
That's tough. 'Cause I hate being warm, but I hate being cold. So I hate being uncomfortable temperatures. Oh man, I'm trying to think of how I feel both ways. Like when I felt, I think I might have to pick warm just because I really hate the feeling of being so cold that I feel like I can never warm up, no matter like how many layers I put on. But Joy, I agree. Joy is saying in the chat she gets hot too easily and feels like fainting. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good question.
Chris is saying there's a real Sophie choice.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. It really is. It really is.
While you're getting your answer, because I always forget to do this, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. It helps us a ton. We finally got over our 100 mark, so now we have our own custom URL. So now we have youtube.com/superimportantstuff. So please, bookmark that. I'm very, very happy about that. And if you like, it tells more people that the video is something that they should watch. So please, if you could like and subscribe, that is wonderful. Now I've done my selling. And Heather, I believe you still have to answer.
I gotta pick one. One. No, all right, I'm gonna pick underdressed. I'm gonna pick underdressed and hope that I can jog myself into warmth. I can't unjog myself into coolness.
You can be real still. You can be real still.
Right, but even that, unless you've got air hitting you, yeah. Okay, okay.
You're gonna go with underdressed.
Woo, that's a tough one.
Raina, do you want to do the one that you were assigned, or are we just skipping that one?
I do. No, I'm so sorry. I feel not very bright. Okay. Would you rather eat fast food every day or never eat at any restaurant again?
Who would you like to answer?
You.
I'm gonna go with never eat at a restaurant again. I really love eating at restaurants. Restaurants are wonderful, but if I eat fast food every day, I will feel like garbage every day. I like fast food. My body can handle fast food once a week, and after that once a week, if you discount pizza, if you say pizza is not a fast food, then my body basically can only handle one thing of fast food a week before it just can't process all the chemicals and garbage that are in fast food. So having to do that every day, I think I would just feel crazy miserable all the time. So I would miss restaurants, but I'm gonna have to go with never eat at a restaurant.
Heather?
Yeah, same. And honestly, Justin, you literally just you presented it eloquently in exactly what I would say. Yeah, fast food's fun as a treat, and then the next day you're like, why'd I do it? Or I shouldn't do that more than once. I wouldn't want to live through that every single day. Yeah, I'd miss being in a restaurant, but I'll deal with it.
Just jumping back to the previous question for a minute, because I really enjoyed this comment in chat. Underdressed is coming from a woman who wears the Victorian dress to buy TP.
Listen.
It had to go in there.
You'd still be cold and be wearing a Victorian dress. I've seen those sad, starving orphans.
But they're still have 18 layers. Topping is saying...
Yeah, but you get a damp chill and some water thrown on that.
That
happens a lot. You get water thrown on you.
Yeah, those sad Victorian orphans. Yeah.
They do get things tossed at them quite regularly, or slop
puddles from horse carriages.
From carriages, or just feces out of windows.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Joy's saying she's gonna go with me. But I would miss yummy food. Agreed. Morning Roast is going with fast food every day.
Wow.
Chris is with the never eat at a restaurant again, which would still be sad.
I'm gonna go with. Can I answer the question? Am I allowed to?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Morning Roast, I'm agreeing with you because I think that we could game the system. So what is fast food? Okay, think about that. We could go to McDonald's every morning and just get an Egg McMuffin, which isn't so bad. right? Or we could do things like Taco Bell and not eat the meat. So it's just like beans and cheese and lettuce. So I think there's workarounds.
Okay.
And then you don't have to give up good food at restaurants.
Yeah. Running roasts didn't get out of my head.
I'm staying there. I'm pitching a tent. I'm drinking ranch.
Okay. So it seems like we're going with restaurant, but so Raina, you're saying fast food. You're saying you go fast food.
Oh, we can figure this out.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. We want to move on to our third question.
It's actually the fourth because
or fourth, yeah. But I mean, go nuts and chat if you have one. Throw it in the chat. You know, we'd love to get some of you guys and answer some of your questions. All right. So our third question. Here are your choices. Would you rather go to a silent retreat for a week where you can't talk at all? Would you rather go on vacation with somebody who will not stop talking the entire time that you're away, so you never get any silence, but you can do whatever you want because you're on vacation, but they will always be with you and they will always be talking? And I will send it to you first, Heather. And
silent retreat.
Silent retreat?
Silent retreat, absolutely.
You don't think it would drive you nuts to not talk for a full week?
Oh, I don't think I would enjoy it, but I also think that if I had someone who was just never talking, non-stop talking, that's too much. It's too much, and it's just like constant chatter, and your brain, I don't know if normal people's brains, quote normal, I don't no, not true. I don't know if like normal people's brains can process constant sound, but I don't think my brain is normal, and my brain does not enjoy constant noise.
Okay. Chris is also going with silent retreat. Tommy is also going with silent retreat.
Yeah.
Chris has pointed out that Heather's traveled with him, so that's probably why she's going to go with silent retreat. And Troy is saying silent retreat, but I will definitely get kicked out. I would agree with that statement. I don't know that Troy could make it. I couldn't make it a week without saying a word. I would have to make a joke. So.
Oh, wow.
Cool. All right, so you're going silent retreat. Raina, what do you?
Yeah.
I'm going to say chat said silent retreat as well. So Raina, what's your?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it seems like
silent retreat. Yeah, for sure. I think mostly because I talk a lot, so I need to challenge myself to not do that. I think that would be pretty amazing if I could even do that for a day. So. I'll take the challenge. Take the challenge.
All right. So silent retreat. So I don't mean to be the one who goes opposite everybody, but I feel like I would have to go with vacation with somebody who won't stop talking. Because it doesn't specifically say like it's somebody that you don't like. So maybe it could just be somebody that you like that won't stop talking, and it'll maybe drive you crazy, but
that was going to be like, I almost asked that question up top, but then I was like, I feel like if I asked that question, you were just going to be like, it's got to be somebody that you don't like. So I just assumed, I went with the assumption that it was like some person that you don't want to be on a trip with that won't shut up.
Yeah, but even if you were on a trip with somebody that you liked or somebody you thought was really, really funny, after a while, you maybe wouldn't like them or they wouldn't be funny anymore. Don't think so.
We have a weird would you rather. Would you rather?
There's a couple good ranch questions.
Would you rather join my cult or have ranch while riding a robo goat? I mean, ranch while riding a robo goat. I would think.
Absolutely, that sounds fun.
Right. But then again, you don't know what my cult is. Like, I still haven't figured out what my cult is. So like, you know,
that alone makes me not like I'm uncomfortable with this cult.
Right, but I can get there.
The cult could just be watching cheese.
Ooh, all right. Okay.
I had this question. Would you rather say your social security number and mother's maiden name on the live stream and follow through, or type it into the chat? I would rather type it into the chat because I know that the chat goes away after we stop being live. So, but the
true.
But the things people are saying aren't. But we're not going to do either.
Up above,
Joy is encouraging me to explain the cult.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
Yeah. Morning Roast up top asked, would you rather have ranch at every meal or have creme at every meal? And I think that's actually a good question.
Ranch.
Ranch. I also went with ranch.
I got to go with creme.
You going with creme?
Yeah, I don't like ranch dressing, and I like Oreos. So I mean, I
do like Oreos.
I would get diabetes so quick, but I would. I'd probably go with creme.
But ranch is fun on a lot of things. You could stick an Oreo in ranch.
Chris is suggesting, I think that my cult is going against the grain. No, it's just somebody's got to, I don't know. Normally I'm anti-cult, but I'm not a fan of ranch, so this is a tough one. Yeah, I mean, like my cult would be good. So just know that.
That sounds like a cult being led by someone who it's not a good cult, but they're like, hey, my cult's good.
No,
okay?
it would be for good. Like, I'm not going to take advantage of people. We're going to believe in something. Like, I don't know. We're going to worship something, or we're going to believe in something, and it's all going to be very positive, and everybody's going to have a good time.
Start.
What's that?
That's what all cults, that's how they start. That's what they say. I mean, I think some people truly are like evil people that are like, I'm going to start this cult because I'm an evil person. But I think a lot of them are like people who are like, I'm going to do this cool thing. And then the power corrupts them, or something corrupts them, or the weird shit that they start doing.
I will try and think of a good cult by the time next week rolls around.
Good. I look forward to it. Can't be the cult with flashlights.
Yeah. Chris is asking, would you rather Michelle choose chaos or become chaos? I believe Michelle is chaos. So
I think Michelle is chaos.
I think that's already happened.
Agree.
And Chris is agreeing with you. That's what all cults say, that they're going to be good. But like mine's going to be good.
Well, I think that, the cult thing, one thing that is often overlooked, and this is maybe something that Heather can sort of have a lot of say in, is the fashion is usually kind of roby or kind of pajama-y. And I was thinking about your Victorian, you've got all these beautiful dresses. Like maybe this is why cults don't last, that people want something a little bit more fanciful. And I'm thinking that I would join like that cult of your friends that get together and do the tea parties and stuff.
We call ourselves a dress cult. We call ourselves like, that's the informal name of all the people who are in this Facebook group that,
when you guys get dressed up and go out to your lunches and stuff.
Like, we don't introduce ourselves and go to people like, we're a dress cult, because nobody actually means it, but we do joke that we are a dress cult.
Well, and I have to say, I have to out where this whole conversation started, was that I think that Joy Masters could be the name of the cult, because it's like, I'm a Joy Master. So it would be something that I want to achieve. So I am coming to you to teach me to be a Joy Master, because I'm sad.
Right. It'd be positive. It'd be good. That's what I'm saying.
But it's also probably your wife's.
Yeah, that's true. But I also think that Heather and I could start a cult of just like people who just dress business casual or fancier. Because I
think Justin is also in that cult with us.
Yes. You know, Heather, the ladies wear fancy dresses, and the men wear dress pants for no reason. Even though there's no need to wear dress pants in any of these situations, they still wear them, even if they're not going to work that day.
What about ascots, top hats, monocles? Sure. I mean,
those are a lot of work. I'm just saying that, like, I'm wearing dress pants and dress shoes because I'm supposed to be fancy for a show day, and nobody's ever going to see it ever. So like, it's fancy for the sake of fancy, not for anything else.
I still laugh when sometimes people will see me like when I do improv and I'm like in a dress and I'll roll on the floor because I have no problem rolling on the floor. And like that first time that someone will see me and they'll just be like, I just wasn't expecting you to roll in a dress. And I'm like, I pick my dresses specifically to know what I can roll around in.
I feel like I saw you in jeans once and it really threw me.
I did. I've done jeans. I also like sometimes I will take the temperature of the group, and if I feel like the group is, I can just sense if the group's a little off put by like, oh, Heather's wearing her dresses, and I'll like tone it down and I'll wear jeans. But I don't enjoy the feeling as much. I just feel like I'm like, when you see cowboys and they're like saddle walking, is that what it's called? Where they're like, bleh, bleh, and I'm just like, there's on my legs. Yeah.
Joy is pointing out that I could have the name through marriage. That's true. We did get married, so therefore, and then, fancy, or sexy, or whatever it is. I think on that
sexy.
I think on that note, I think that about does it for this week, guys. This has been a super fun show. Raina, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
join the cult, whatever it is. I'm in.
And thank you guys in chat so much for sticking around and all of your crazy fun stuff that you guys put in there. Let me get to the place that I'm supposed to be for all this stuff. Don't forget to follow us at Super Important Stuff. We'll let you know earlier than most people about who our guests are going to be, and we have some trivia questions from How Should I Know, which admittedly is coming back on 4/14. So check it out. We already have 2 fun guests booked that I think you're really going to like. And I think that about does it, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for sticking around. And don't forget to like and subscribe and all that. And if you're, put things in the comments if you want, because that's always fun too. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.